Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, back to do another Mill Creek review. Today I'm going to be doing a review for the spaghetti western double feature of Fort Yuma Gold and Damned Hot Day of Fire. But before I get into my review, I wanted to take the time to thank Mill Creek for sending me this copy to review. I'm going to be putting their links in the description box below. Definitely check them out. They have a lot of really great stuff coming out. Now, first I'm going to get into the presentation. Here is your cover. Here's your back cover. And it does have a caption that says, featuring 2 of Quentin Tarantino's favorite spaghetti westerns. Now, I'm not sure how true that is, but I will tell you that Fort Yuma Gold definitely resembles the Hateful Eight in some aspects, but I'll get into that with my review. Of course, this comes with the digital code, and there is the disc artwork. Very, very nice. Now, when I started on this double feature, I started watching Damned Hot Day of Fire, also known as Gatling Gun, also known as Machine Gun. I figured I would start with that because it seemed a little bit more my speed. Actually, I prefer Fort Yuma Gold, but I'll get into that later. But they're both very good films. Now, when I put this in and I started Damned Hot Day of Fire, a caption actually came up. A caption which usually comes up with a bit more of the boutique labels, where it states that Damned Hot Day of Fire is presented in as much of an uncut version as we will probably ever see. There have been parts added from the original print that will be in Italian, so they will have subtitles, of course, which I thought was really cool. And overall, the transfer on both films is not too bad for them being so old. I believe they're both 1968 films. Now, Damned Hot Day of Fire starts out where you have the guy who created the Gatling gun, whose last name is Gatling, is making a deal with the government. And a few of the government bigwigs are escorting him to Washington in order to sign a deal for the Gatling gun. Those people are killed. Gatling is kidnapped along with his prized Gatling gun. So from there, you have kind of like the good, the bad, the ugly sort of thing, where you have criminals who are trying to get paid by both sides, because you have the North and the South. So their plan is to, since they kidnapped Gatling and his gun, they wanted to sell Gatling, the man, to the South, I believe, for $1 million. They wanted to sell the gun to the North for $1 million, kind of getting paid by both sides. But you have Robert Woods, who is going to stop that. Now, he is scheduled to be hanged, and he is given a pardon, and, basically told if he can stop them, then, he'll be free. And that's basically the story in a nutshell. Now, what did I think of this film? First of all, the transfer was really good. I really enjoyed the transfer. And the story was fun as well. Definitely a typical spaghetti western. Now, over to Fort Yuma Gold, which I watched second. And Fort Yuma Gold is actually also called For a Few Extra Dollars. if I'm not mistaken. Now this has Montgomery Wood, which is actually not his real name. His real name is Italian, but the story behind this one, this doesn't have a one of those disclaimers saying about the transfer. So the transfer is okay. It is all in English. Of course, it's dubbed, but there's a lot of pops and cracks in there, and there's some color washing and, you know, stuff like that. But all in all, I actually thought the transfers were pretty darn good on both for what they were. Now, this tells the story of Montgomery Wood's character, who is a prisoner in the North's camp. They actually put him in jail after accosting a cook for the North, and they're offering him to get out if he can basically bring a message, because it's the end of the war, it's towards the end of the war. If he can basically bring a message to his captain in the South to stop a major slaughter. The South is actually going to attack one of the forts of the North, and they are severely outnumbered, outgunned. They have all their cannons and all that kind of stuff out. So that's basically the story in this. Now, it does get a little bit deeper because on the way, they discover that there is another hidden mission from the bandits that they encounter on the way. Now, how does this remind me of The Hateful Eight? There is a scene, actually, in Fort Yuma Gold towards the second act, where they're in a cabin, very much like The Hateful Eight, and your hero is blinded from being left outside with a net over his face to hold his eyes open, and he basically is staring into the sun, so he's blind. He gets freed, they take him to this cabin, and of course they're dispatched one by one, but could they be dispatched by a blind man? And I'll kind of leave it at that. But it very much resembles the scene in The Hateful Eight in the cabin. As I said before, both of these movies are really good. They're basically your standard spaghetti western. I prefer Fort Yuma Gold a little bit more, but like I said, they're both good films. So definitely check out Mill Creek. I believe this is available now. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.